Aloha, this is Flying Hawaiian again for another episode of Gun Talk. I'm Flying Hawaiian, and we got three other participants with us. A little about myself. I have an associate's degree in firearm technology from SDI, also a handgun certificate, and I am also a USCCA certified firearm instructor. Next person.
I am Big Hoss. I'm more of a maker. I have no specialties in firearms, but I have a passion for firearms. Next person.
My name's Kanan. I do a lot of streaming on my Twitch channel. Um, Play out a variety of games and stuff like that. Uh, I've always been like a fan of guns and the the culture and stuff like that, and uh, what the importance of certain aspects of them are, and just stuff like that. Um, so next person.
What's up? I'm Michael. I'm the host of the Meanie Mania podcast. I do a lot of content where I cover a variety of topics like wrestling, big news stories, just anything pop culture. And I also cover like big news stories, but firearms is something I've known since I was a kid because I grew up hunting. I am a hunter to this day. I hunt deer, turkey, and I try to know my firearms, and that way I can tell other people how to know what to deal with when they're trying to deal with firearms. Like make sure they're clean, make sure you don't keep a loaded gun just out in the open, and just know your carry laws.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Man, we have a wide range of knowledge around here. Before we continue going on with today's episode of gun laws, like let you guys know, we have Dubby is one of our sponsors. If you like a good energy drink without the crash, Dubby is the way to go. They have different types of products. I got the Japanese soda from Dubby. What do you guys got from Dubby?
I got the Japanese yuzu, and this cup I'm in fact drinking from right now.
I don't have a shaker from.
Oh, we're losing connection. Media, can be able to repeat that again?
I'll say I just don't have any current products from Derby in my house. Like everything I've had, I've drank.
And they're good. Then
Yeah.
also our next sponsor is Thread of Resistance. If you like dark humor and Prodigy shirts, it's the way to go. I got mine is the Second Amendment. If there's no Second Amendment, there's no first. So the links are down below. So come support our sponsors. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Yeah,
Big Hoss.
go try.
All right. Personally, here, Louisiana, our gun laws aren't as strict as most states are. You can here. You can open carry pretty much any firearm that is within the allowable. Like it can't be an SBR or something without having permits, but you can really just carry whatever you want around. You could carry a shotgun on your back, a rifle on your back, because Louisiana is a big hunting and fishing community, so they take that into account. And you're going to see a lot of people with hunting rifles going down the sides of the street to go hunting. As for concealed carry, that is require you do need a permit to conceal carry any weapon. Like any blade under 4 inches and any gun whatsoever. Um,
It's any blade over 4 inches.
oh yeah, a blade over 4 inches. Thank you. Um, Other than that, it's normal. Like you have to be 16 to buy a shotgun, but 18 to actually buy any ammo for that shotgun as well as any other firearms or ammo. So that's one kind of weird law. It's like at 16, yeah, you can since you can drive, you could buy a shotgun, but you're not getting any ammo for it until you're 18.
Man, that put down a lot of restrictions on that. What other weird gun laws is there out there?
I mean, like there's most that's pretty much the only really weird one you have. We have the pretty standard uh well, you do not require a permit to own a firearm. Um you do not require the 7-day waiting period to purchase a firearm. It's you walk in and then you do the paperwork, do quick check, and you're out with that gun the same day. Uh, Other than that, it's pretty relaxed down here. Uh, like, I mean, you can't have like I said, SBRs or uh, destructive devices. Just carrying around without a proper tax stamp.
Man, I'm a little jealous. I really am.
Yeah, every gun I ever bought, I'd go in and fill out paperwork, and that same day, like, takes like an hour or so to fill out all the paperwork and get checked and stuff like that through a criminal database. I guess maybe it's different for other people who might have more of a criminal record, but I mean, it usually takes me 1 to 2 hours, and I'm walking out with that gun and ammo that day.
But onto that, yes, there are criminal restrictions on firearms if you have certain felonies. If you have a prison sentence, you are no longer allowed firearms down here.
Okay, let me get this straight. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Understanding is your guys' NICS checks. You can be a felon and still get a firearm as long as you didn't serve prison time.
Well, it all depends on the severity of the sentence, and it's not really like it only applies to like major crimes. If you're I mean, you are in a database, and then that does directly go to the police. So you are watched if you do have a firearm.
Huh, that is very interesting. I gotta say, because what I know about the next check is you're a felon, you cannot own a firearm. It doesn't matter what kind of felony it is, you cannot own a firearm whatsoever. And hearing that, that's very interesting.
But I
Is
mean, it doesn't take much. The like anything over a small misdemeanor and you you lose your gun rights.
okay. Um, with that being said, has there been a whole lot of shootings there? Because I know when we look at the news today, there's been a lot of shootings in other different states. Has there been a whole lot of shootings there? Either one of you guys know in Louisiana?
Well, I mean, we do have our occasional shootings. That much sparser, but um a lot of cases is like one guy tried to rob a store, a convenience store, and then everyone in that store then shot him at the exact same time.
Did that criminal have a firearm on him?
Yes, he had a firearm on him.
See, look, a good guy stopping a bad guy with a gun.
Yeah, it was matter of fact, it was about 5 people who shot at the exact same time at this guy.
Did the criminal pull the trigger, or was
No,
it reported that he pulled the trigger?
no, he did not. He pulled the gun and was threatening that he was told to stop, and then whenever he did not stop, they thought it as a threat, so they fired.
Okay, that brings up to a lot of good points. Is he was commanded to either stop, drop the firearm, or uh, think of a better way of how to handle this situation, and he pretty much refused it, like most shootings you hear with officers involved and like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Much what applies to officers do apply to civilians here with guns is that it is a felony if you just shoot a person without proper authorization. You need to make sure you announce, hey, I am armed, please stop. If you do not stop, then I will take actions against it.
So the typical of, de-escalate the situation before you pull that trigger.
Of course. Now, if it is a case where you're already getting the gun pulled on you and you do not have the gun in your hand, then it is immediately insinuated that you can pull your firearm and fire before it goes to, because at that point your life is in fact in danger.
Okay. That's very good information, honestly.
And also to swing back what you were talking about earlier about the um shootings and stuff like that, which areas. Of course, you have like your bigger towns like New Orleans have like more shootings than your smaller towns, uh, like Baton Rouge and stuff like that have lesser shootings because it's a smaller town and stuff like that. But I mean, during certain times, like football games, like LSU games, there might be more violence, not necessarily gun violence, but there could be fights or any sort of things like that. Same as New Orleans for Saints games and Hornet games and stuff like that. There's shooting violence, fighting violence, stabbing violence, all that. Just because that's how it is. It's a big sporting event. Just like any major town has any major city metropolis problems. But in the smaller areas, like where we're out at, there's not a lot of gun violence and shootings and stuff like that, you know. So it varies where you're from and where you live.
Oh
But
yeah,
then
this is
again, we're also talking about a place that it is almost a Cold War state where you don't know if that person's carrying a gun. So are you going to pick a fight with them? And then it's like,
so your state is pretty much a red state, right?
Yes,
You know, that's
I
the
I
big
believe so. Last time I checked, it was.
because I think that's what really matters is whether or not if it's a red state or a blue state. Honestly, you know, I don't know if you guys heard about the shootings in Minnesota, the church shootings. You know, and then of course everyone heard about what happened to Charlie Kirk, but it seems like I don't want to go there so much, but it almost seems political. What do you guys think?
I mean, it can be in some sense, but really it's more about the culture here than it is about politics. Like I said, in our culture, it's much more hunting, fishing. So we are like more culturally inclined to have firearms and the ability to protect ourselves from the founding of this state.
Okay.
Right. In fact, guns is a way some people make their living. Hunting alligators, boar, nutria. All those are destructive animals. Well, alligators aren't so much, but hogs and nutriats are destructive animals, and some people hunt those for a living. And alligators, they have certain people, you get tags and stuff like that, and you go out and you hunt alligator, and that's big money for people here.
So people hunt alligator there,
Yes.
just
Yes,
not
we
no accidental showing up on an alligator, someone defending themselves against it.
No, no,
well
no.
they do, but it is in fact a huntable animal considering um yes, at one time they were almost hunted to endangerment, but now they populate so quickly that there's over a million alligators in like the state, and it's to a point where they can show up in your backyard, your front yard. They can climb fences even. So there is a specific hunting season for them, just like any other animal.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
this is my curiosity. I don't know if anybody who's going to be viewing this their curiosity as well. I know deer, elk, and like that. They use a bolt action rifle most of the time. What
Correct.
firearm do they use for an alligator?
You can use whatever rifle, shotgun, or stuff you want. They typically use 22 long rifles because it's the minimum of what you need to get it done if you hit it in the right place. Like there's this specific soft spot right behind the skull that if you get a 22 long rifle into it, it will kill the alligator. But you'll see people using 308s, 30-06s, 410 shotgun shells, um, anything like that. They'll use pistols, rifles, shotguns. Uh, so there's no limitation, as in other states, on hunting alligators, except you can't hunt them during night.
Okay,
Yeah.
because when you said 22 long rifle, I'm like knowing 22 LRs don't do much damage.
Well, this professional alligator hunter use it because all you need to do is hit it in the right place and it will take it down. But that's because they've trained their entire lives of knowing where to shoot these alligators. But you'll see a lot of people use 223 rifles or 306 for sniping them out in the if they're not going to be specifically, putting the gun up to their head and pulling the trigger.
Oh man. All
That
right.
that got dark. That got dark.
Oh, we're talking about the how people hunt alligator professionally using a 22 LR.
I don't know. I just the last bit I caught was like putting the gun up to their head and pulling the trigger. I'm like, wait, what? What did I get? What did I walk in on?
You
But
were
that got dark.
Yeah, that it is it is sort of dark, but it is a necessity to keep them out of our living areas.
Man, you just sparked a lot of curiosity out of me with Louisiana lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you hunt alligator professionally and using a 22 LR, you might. That's skilled right there.
Well, then
Yeah.
again,
Did I hear you?
whenever you're doing it, you are literally shooting it from an inch away from its soft spot. So you have your hands almost in their mouths most of the time.
Oh my. Yeah, that's pucker up your cheeks moment.
Yeah. They are very dangerous to hunt though because your bullets can ricochet off of them.
Yeah, seeing that kind of armor that they have, I believe that.
Yeah.
That's why if you're not a professional alligator hunter, you most likely are going to be using a slightly larger caliber than a 22 long rifle.
Man, I know media is having a lot of connection issues, man. So uh, I'll move on to Colorado state law. If you guys are know more about, if you're done with all the laws there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any more interesting
Yeah, we've
to
pretty
pull
much
out
covered
law.
everything.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, my state I'm in is no near fun as your guys' state is. You know, my state is a blue state. We have a Democrat in office. You know, and this is going to surprise you the whole lot. Senate Bill 3 just passed this year and it goes into effect next year. And that's banning rapid fire devices and semi automatics with detachable magazines.
So
That's
they're going more of the California route.
yes. And here's the kicker with Senate Bill 3. For you to get your rights back, you have to attend a hunter safety course. Then, on top of that, you have to take another 8-hour course for firearm safety to just get a card to say, I can purchase this firearm. But before you can take those classes, you have to apply over at the sheriff's office just to be able to get to attend the class.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's banning any firearm with detachable magazines. So your Glocks, your SIGs, anything that you have to remove the magazine, they're getting rid of it. They try to say we're not going after your guns, and they left like maybe 2 pages of exemptions, but all of them are somewhat bolt action rifles.
Which then again, it's not rapid fire if you think about it.
Yeah. And like a couple of them are like maybe half of the list or a quarter was shotguns. So we all know shotguns and some bolt action rifles have fixed magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they're also stating is that need to fix our magazines if we want to keep our firearms for that. So the Colorado Shooting Association.
Colorado,
Yeah. Yeah, media.
uh, how Colorado, how is Colorado with the handguns with extended mags? Like, what are the laws for those? Like,
Well, Senate Bill 3 eliminates those handguns that with detachable magazines. When I was reading through the bill, it was saying gas operated handguns, but that only leaves 5 models that would be banned of gas operated. But they also go into the bill about recoil action handguns. And so that
okay,
the bill is so confusing. And the Colorado Shooting Association has actually filed a lawsuit against
uh-huh.
Senate Bill 3.
So basically, to follow up to that question, like, what with automatic, like with semi-automatics, and how are the laws different if they are different between semi-automatic handguns and like a revolver, like a 38 or something, or a Magnum?
Okay, how the bill is written, how everybody understood the bill is any firearms with a fixed magazine. So yeah, revolvers would be exempted. Uh, most of the handguns that do have fixed magazines will be exempted. It's only the firearms that are has detachable magazines will not be exempted.
Okay, I know.
So yeah.
My grandfather, he carries a revolver. Like that's what he carries,
Hmm. Yeah, he'll be safe with under this
and
bill in it.
it's
It goes in effect next year in August.
so I always tell him to make sure guns than I do, but I always just like to you.
You're cutting in and out there.
Like,
Repeat the question.
just what I was saying was, what I was saying was my grandfather, he travels quite a bit, and he's an avid hunter, and he goes to a lot of he goes to more gun shows and stuff than I do, and he always carries his gun with him when he's traveling.
Well, the only thing I will say here in Colorado, every single county besides Denver County is an open carry. Denver County is the only one you cannot open carry.
Yeah.
It has to be concealed carry with a permit or in your car.
Okay.
One of the two. I've actually dug into the open carry laws, and that's how I found that out. I thought it was very interesting on that only one county doesn't require, or it refuses open carry. So, the next part that is actually uh, they're doing is raising the age from 18 to 21 to buy ammunition here in Colorado.
Wow. You've got to be old to buy ammunition.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying, yeah, you're old enough to serve your country, you're old enough to buy cigarettes, or kind of. I've heard they're trying to change that law too. You know,
Oh,
but
they
you
already
cannot.
they did that here.
Oh, they did. Jeez. But
Yeah, you gotta be 21 to buy cigarettes here in Tennessee.
oh man. But you cannot buy ammunition. You know, and that
Yeah.
to me is ridiculous. You know, if you can buy like a rifle
Hmm.
like that at age of 18, you should be able to buy your ammunition. as well too.
Yeah.
So
I
Because
know we're
of
supposed to be talking
knowledge.
about. Like, you brought it up. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. You go ahead.
I was gonna say you brought up the topic. I just like they changed. You were talking about the ammunition and all, but yeah, with the cigarette tobacco, like they changed that in 2018, like right before I turned 18, because I used to smoke cigarettes, and I was having to go to like these stores that would not card me and buy my cigarettes. Then as soon as I turned 18, they changed the law to 21.
yeah, that puts a damper on like everything, But
Yep.
to me, they should not screw with people when you're an adult. You're an adult at 18, not when you're 21. If you're gonna say you're not an adult at 18, you need to change the law saying you don't become officially adult until you're 21.
Yeah, because then, like, if you want a gun and ammo, I mean, go to the army and they'll give you all the guns and ammo you want,
Oh yeah,
and they'll let you at 18.
yeah, that's lawmakers for you. And another bill I believe they passed is a voluntary no buy list. So it's kind of like a red flag law, but labeled differently. So you can get put on the list that you cannot buy a firearm, and that's it.
They can just pick you out at random.
No, pretty much what it says here, it grant people would be able to voluntarily file a confidential waiver to the Colorado Bureaus of Investigation to temporarily block their ability to buy a firearm.
Oh, so you can just go and put yourself on a no buy list.
Yes. And that right there pretty much says, I'm giving my rights away. Okay, fine. I don't care. If you want to give your rights away, fine. Do that. It's your right to do.
Yeah, that I don't think is a big thing. Because if you want to give your rights away, then you go ahead and you do it. I mean, that's your right to be able to do that.
Yeah. One actually here. This is the most very surprising that they try to pass a bill where they give you a tax credit on purchasing firearm safes, and they
Wow.
declined that.
What?
Yeah, you go out and go buy a firearm safe. They were going to try to give a tax relief credit for that, kind of like how they do with electric vehicles.
Yeah.
They were trying to do that with a firearm safe. So it tried to maybe get people to be more uh, safe about it. And the
Yeah.
Senate here denied it.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
You would think it makes sense. You want people safer with guns, so you would give them a tax credit so they could be safer with guns.
Oh yeah,
But instead, it's like, nope, we don't. We just we just want y'all wing it here.
oh yeah, and this is one thing I didn't ask you guys. What's your guys' law on getting your concealed carry permit there in Louisiana?
Um, it's fairly simple. You have to take a gun safety course with both. It has to be a full-sized um, semi-auto and a full-sized revolver. You have to get certified safety with both of them, and then you're able to get a concealed carry license.
Is there a live
But
fire to that?
yeah, they're live fire, but they have to be your guns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how long is the class there? How many hours?
Um,
Uh, I think it's just one class of.
Is it like a 4-hour class, 8-hour class?
Yeah, it's something like that. I can't remember how
yeah,
long it
it's
is.
a 4-hour class.
4 hours?
Or
Well, here in Colorado, They changed it, went in effect in July, that you have to do a full 8-hour course with a live fire. It used to be like a 4-hour class, and then you can go get your uh, CHP, what we call it here, the Colorado handgun permit. But now, a full 8-hour class with a live fire ranging from 3 to 10 yards with a 80%, 75% hit accuracy and an 80% on the test score.
What are they training you for? A militia?
I don't know, but as a USCCA firearm instructor, I, you know, do the 8-hour class, teaching them the gun laws, firearm safety, how firearm works like that for the full 8 hours, and give them a test on that includes Colorado law. And that's what they were trying to do to implement Colorado new laws into the class. And then
Yeah.
with the shooting portion, I don't go up to 10 yards. I do like 3, 5, and 7 because in a rule of thumb, 21 feet is the max of where people try to assault you with a dangerous weapon. And that's where you need to be able more efficient to defend your life. You know,
Yeah.
so that was really interesting, like how they changed it up and like that. And so
I I don't know. 8 hours seems like kind of a lot. Like you'd have a lot of extra time. I mean, maybe here that's how it would be, but in Colorado, I don't know because they'll seem to have a lot of gun laws and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff to learn.
oh yes, and with the class, like our the presentation that I give has 277 slides to
Did everyone freeze?
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties.
Yes. Okay, so Flying Hawaiian should be back shortly. He's just having a little bit of internet issues. So we'll continue with what we can. Um, just 277 slides. I don't know how people would be able to memorize all of that. That's just a lot of slides. Um, to have to memorize. That's a lot of information being put in a person's head.
And of course, there's attention span of the average person not being able to hold that either.
Yeah. But I mean, there's 277 slides. Plus, you have to learn how to put together your gun and learn how to shoot properly. I mean, unless you already know how to do that. But it sounds like maybe I'm pretty sure not all of the students know how to do that. Um, I mean, keeping in all that information for all that time, that's got to be a difficult thing to do.
It definitely sounds
And
like it would be taxing.
it definitely does sound like it would be taxing. Like, it would take a good bit of stuff that, not everyone has, like, you know, plus what's going on in your everyday lives. I mean, I'm sure a good bit of his people have families, and I'm pretty sure, they're trying to 100% focus, but you're always thinking about, what's my family doing today, or what are they doing, but you can't, you have to focus on this. So there's always stuff in the back of your mind that's going on while you're learning this.
And again, that would once again take away from your pure focus of trying to memorize all of this content.
Yeah.
That's like trying to read a novel and then having to, you know, actually recite back what you had just read.
Yeah. Oh, is Flying Hawaiian back?
Sorry, someone got cut off our internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were talking about how hard it must be to go through 277 slides plus uh, learning how to, you know, manage, put together, shoot all that stuff, a firearm, and then have to take a test on all that stuff that you just learned.
Yeah, with that test or with the whole tire deal, I do it with my business partner for that, and I'll say the last class I was slowly falling asleep because how much the slides repeat itself over and over and over, and also me being a gunsmith, all the slides are not technically correct in my way.
Okay.
You know, like they talk about holsters. You know, my what I learned in school, holsters are started at level 1 all the way up to like level 1, level 2, level 3, and so on. But in
Right.
the slides, it talks about as a level 1 as a level 0.
Okay.
So, and then, with the firearms, a striker fire like your Glock and some of your
Right.
SIGs is technically a 1.5 action. They call it a double action.
Yeah.
And so that don't make sense to me whatsoever.
All right.
And so I'm competing with myself while trying to follow the slides. and then going to the shooting range, I do it at 3, 5, and 7 yards, and so the first 3 yards is 20 rounds. Second, the 5 yards is another 20, and the 7 is 10. So they have to pass it within a 75%, so miss only 35 rounds, or not 35, miss 15 rounds. Correct myself.
Like, not to say anything, I guess, not to say it's wrong or anything like that, but do people actually need to know a 1.5 striker gun? You know, like, do they need to know all that extra information?
Somewhat. I don't think they really need to know about the what kind of action a striker fire is, but let's say they buy a hammer fire. There's three types of hammer fires. You have a single action only, and those are your
Right.
1911s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have one that is double action only, and that's just pull the trigger and the hammer cocks back and goes. And the other one is single and double action. So to be able to standard like how your firearm works, that's some good knowledge to have.
Right. But I mean, like, that could be done in like 5 to 10 minutes. I don't think it would take like a whole slide for all that. You could just tell them, look, like bring out a line of guns and just be like, look, you do this, single fire. You do this, double fire. Do this, single and double. This, uh, 1.5 fire. You know?
Yeah, and just a lot. All the slides are very confusing for the most part, and also contradicts itself as well too. But
Yeah.
as firearm instructors, it's us to be able to present it correctly so they know what we're talking about, because we're supposed to be the expert at commuting all this.
Right.
And so it there's some challenging stuff to it.
Yeah. I get that. I understand it.
So, but it's like from Colorado laws to Louisiana's, it's like Louisiana's way up here and Colorado's still way down here trying to control their people.
Yeah.
And the whole entire Senate Bill 3 is pretty much like a secret registry, because we have to go get a piece of paper saying we could take the class. So that's being put into registering. We're getting a permit, and then taking the class and everything, and then going to go get another permit to go buy the firearm at the gun store.
Right.
So
I do find that typically the stricter the gun laws of a state, the typically the more gun violence you'll see in criminal activity.
I will have to side with you on that. In my opinion, I don't know how many viewers will see this and think something differently, but in my opinion, I agree. Because if you look at the recent events here lately, we already had one school shooting that I know of here over in Evergreen, where a kid took a revolver to the school and shot it. And he reloaded it several times before, how would you put it, going to bed. Okay. I think you guys know what I mean about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was able to reload several times with a revolver. So, and we all know as gun people that revolvers are fixed magazines.
Right.
You have 5 to 6 shots before you need to unload and reload.
Yeah. And so how well, and this is my opinion, how well is that Senate Bill 3 banning detachable magazines work into that narrative with that shooting? yeah, I'm very troubled about that shooting. I feel very sorry for the families that has those injured kids. But how well did that bill would have done to stop that?
Right.
Really nothing, because he had something that the bill is still allowing.
Yeah, and if we have to look back, at all these gun bans and laws that were put in effect, let's go back to 1999 when we had the assault weapons ban from 94 to 2004. Okay, that did with assault weapons. Uh, Look at Columbine. That was 1999 during that assault weapons ban. That ban did nothing for it.
Right.
It's mainly because
It's
criminals are not typically using lawful weapons. They're finding them elsewhere on black market, on smugglers, and they're using other means to get their firearms rather than lawfully getting them.
yeah, that is, and these politicians. This is all my opinion. These politicians need to find the root cause of this. All these politicians are on the left side is going after the tool, not is it mental health problems? Is it, something else going on that's causing these people to do what they're doing?
Right. And I mean, they're not trying to find like the suppliers of these illegal firearms that are coming into our country and being sold to these gangs and teens and stuff like that. You see all these people with automatic AKs showing off on social media and stuff like that that are in our country. And I mean, you need to go after these people, yes, but you need to go after who supplied them with these weapons because they're not getting them from gun stores. They're getting them from, black market people. They're getting them from, you know, off these dealers that are coming in from who knows where and bringing them along. These just they need to find the source and stop it.
I agree because you know these criminals are getting from somewhere. Let's go after the automotive, uh, like let make Department of Transportation get more down to it because they're being transported from somewhere.
Yeah,
We target the transportation, we stop majority of the flow. Not all, but majority of it.
right.
No, there's not going to be any kind of gun laws or any kind of way to eliminate violence completely. Because you look at California, 20 kids decided to rape in broad daylight with hammers, crowbars into a jewelry store and bust it all up to rob it.
Yeah,
California has the most strictest gun laws, but criminals still find a way to do their bidding.
yeah,
Similar thing to other countries like the UK, in which you know they have the strictest gun laws, and yet their crime rate is no better than ours.
Yeah, they're just transferred from one weapon to another. Didn't like one of those attacks in the UK happen with a knife or a machete or something like that?
Yeah.
Look at you bring up the UK, Australia, New Zealand. Those are completely 100% gun bans, but they're still find a way for criminal acts to go on.
well, I mean, it's like I always say, if you get rid of guns, people are still going to find a way to kill each other or do damage or do whatever to each other. They're going to inflict harm to one another because we've been doing it since the beginning of time. Man was killing other men with rocks. Uh, it was a lot harsher. I mean, than it is now. But I mean, people are you see these third world countries that are hacking off people's heads and stuff like that with machetes. I mean, they don't need guns; they just have a lot of people on their side.
Yeah,
Um,
and the government's talking about weapons of war. Well, rocks, sticks were weapons of war at one point in time. While they banned them,
yeah,
so
I mean,
swords and knives were weapons of war for the longest time. They were just before guns came in,
hmm
and they're not getting banned, but people are using them.
yeah. So yeah, man. I'm embarrassed for our country, but you know what? I still love this country, the deepest heart of mine, and I just wish it would get better.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we're about to wrap up some things. I know, Kenan, you have a story. The show's talked about some like unity and stuff like that. You wanted to share.
Yes. Um, Back in 2005 ish, Katrina had just happened, and everyone was in disarray and stuff like that. And we had, um, I was doing plumbing at the time with my dad, and we had a lot of refugees stationed at one of the local sporting arenas, and we gathered up a lot of food that we weren't going to eat, and put it in our truck, and we were going to bring because it was on a Saturday, so we were on call. So we took our vehicle and we were driving over there, and it turned out it was some old fraternity houses that had been in disarray for a while, and they were just starting to get used up again. So of course, things in there are going to get stopped up and blocked. So it was the National Guard that was using them. They were right across the street from the sports center, and so we fixed the problem of the sewer. We tried very carefully because they were still sleeping. It was early in the morning. Um, we tried not to wake anyone up, and the thing was, it was the whole unit sharing a small frat house thing. It was men, women, everybody sharing the frat house. They made space for each other. They were all sleeping on sleeping bags on a like linoleum floor and stuff like that. But we were walking out with the commander, and he was thanking us a lot for getting um their um their plumbing back up again. And he like saw our bags in the back of the trunk, and um we looked at them, and we looked back across the street at where the refugees were staying, and they had the longest line of cars and people bringing stuff, and they had Pizza Hut and all kinds of uh, people ordering food and stuff like that. And
hmm
we asked the commander, we're like, we don't feel like standing in line, waiting in line, and we're wondering, do you want this food? And like his the people that were with him, and his eyes lit up like it was Thanksgiving. And this was nothing special. This was like vegetables and canned meat and stuff like that. They lit up. They were excited. And he got his men to unload them, and they came out with like boxes of MRIs, and they're like, y'all take some of these, y'all deserve it. And we're like, no, we don't want any of that. And they're like, come on, at least take one. So we went through and we picked out a flavor and we said thank you, and they're like, "You sure you don't want more of this stuff? Because we got a lot of it, and what you just gave us is going to be like a Thanksgiving dinner for us." And we're like, "No, we just want one. We're fine." And we left, and we felt really good about it because we could tell they were genuinely thankful for what we gave them, because they had been eating these meals nonstop for um probably the past few months. I think it was around Thanksgiving that this happened, and Katrina happened in like July. They were still doing relocations and stuff like that. And so, for them, this was like a true Thanksgiving meal that they were getting. And, we went home and we felt really good. And we ate that MRI that night. It was actually really good. But, uh, after so many months, we could see how, the same thing, you could get tired of it. Um, but yeah, it felt really good to give it to them because, I mean, the the Katrina people were getting tons of food as it is, and these guys were just living off of MRIs. They didn't have any real food. I know MRIs are like substituted real food, but they didn't have any like real like real vegetables or real stuff like that. And it was really good to do something for our men and women in uniform that you know um help them out.
Oh, yeah, you know, agree. Those MREs, I love MREs. I might be the weird one, okay,
Yeah,
but it's really good to see someone helping out our men and women in the U.S. forces. Especially in a hard time, especially when Katrina hit. That's when you told me that was a very touching story, and thank you for helping them out.
yeah,
Uh, I got a story to tell, but nothing reach out like that. You know, uh, last year in March, I was doing Uber, sitting in a parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning, waiting on one of those charge stations to get done with their maintenance.
yeah,
And I see this guy running into the parking lot out of my peripheral vision, being chased by two guys, and sadly say the two black guys with mask on. Uh, One grabbed him by the jacket, drug him down to the ground. The other one hopped on top of him, hitting him and everything, ripping things off of him. Me, I thought it was a regular mugging, so I just sat in my car, waited until they took off to see if the guy was okay.
mm-hmm,
I saw the victim start getting up because the guy that was punching him got off of him. Well, when he got on his knees, the other guy pulls out a handgun out of his pocket and points it right to the victim, like executional style, but facing him.
yeah,
When I saw that, I said, nope. So I grabbed my 1911 out of my door, used my door as cover, pointed at him, and told him, stop, drop the firearm. They ended up taking off running. I didn't pull the trigger. I disengaged when they ran, but I kept my gun to my chest. And mind you, while all this is happening, it's snowing. I have no hoodie on. I just have my short sleeve because I was in a nice warm car. So I'm
mm-hmm,
standing outside shivering while holding my gun to the chest and trying to check on the victim. Called 911. I was on hold for 10 minutes before someone picked up the phone.
wow,
And then another 10 minutes later, after I gave all the details, cops finally showed up. When they started pulling around the corner and the criminals didn't come back, I unloaded my firearm, put it in my seat, and stepped away and let them do their job.
Yeah.
The victim only sustained a laceration above his left eye and a few bruisings, and that is it.
He got really lucky. That sounds like it would have done a lot of damage from what you described, and if you wouldn't have acted, it would have done a lot more damage than that. So that's very good.
Yeah, it's pretty much was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pretty much took it to heart as I have a firearm. I need to defend my family, myself, and the people around me.
Yeah.
So, you got a story to add, Big Hoss, or?
Unfortunately, I do not.
All
But
right.
those are both touching and heartwarming. That hearing these incidents that have helped is definitely something that is a good point of like showing how how human we are, really.
Mhm. All right. So this is gonna end this episode on a positive note because all that was really positive. You guys have any stories you guys would like us to share with the world? Please comment down below wherever you guys are watching at. I am flying Hawaiian. We got Cannon and Big Hoss here. So aloha. See you guys next episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.